replace them and we put labels on them. My husband used to coach hockey. And one year at the awards, I did photoshopped awards and put different things on each certificate for the kids. It was a lot of fun.
What? No,
You're gonna lock you out so you can't get back
I don't
in.
know if I can get my key.
You're never gonna get back in again.
Never come back. But yeah, so
She's okay.
No, what, oh,
The
yeah.
messenger.
So
I know who she is.
So
You're right, I saw
we
her.
photoshopped and
She has
I
an article in
photographed
the
it and
paper,
all
right?
that. It
Occasionally
was
or
a blast.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
You know, because, and then framed them and gave them out to all the kids.
Before
And,
that.
you know, and, just
She has some health problems.
different sayings for each one. He,
And she's
like,
been
he
in
kept,
therapy
he's got this
for her
memory.
body and-
and he can like, all right, now this kid
Okay.
said this story. And you're like, how do you remember
She was
that?
thinking of
Some people got
like semi-retirement.
Certain things, you know, there was one that,
Meetings, but
this
not
one
all
kid
work.
came over to the bench and he said, what do I have
Yeah. Maybe she'll still come back. I
a
don't know.
target on my back?
I'll be
Because
the
every
one
time
to
you
do
turned
it.
around, he was getting like hit
Yeah.
during this one game, you know,
Do you
and he was
like
like, and he was just
Do you
a
like
small
it?
kid.
I'm doing it about
And so
five
Mike
Hey,
years.
Mr.
said,
LaRue.
I'm used to it.
Mike said, he said this at one game, I was like,
And you become
how do you
comfortable.
remember? So, I mean, I don't know. But I wrote, I mean, I made like 20 of these and it was hilarious because certificates, each kid got a certificate, they were colored.
Yeah, and people
Scrutinize.
scrutinize.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Right.
It was a lot of
Well,
work,
this
but it
is
was
about as
fun.
many things I want to get. I'm not going up to
And,
run for
I mean, he
office
didn't have
for-
like 5 kids, he had
No, thank
20
you.
kids on the team, so it was 20 different, yeah, it was fun. We always had a good time. We always had a good time, so.
Hey, Bill,
Go
how are you, sir?
sit down.
Good.
Have a
Thanks for
seat.
showing up.
Thank you, Adam. So how are you? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Good. Yeah, no, I told you earlier the weather.
Yeah, I went down and helped a little bit today for maybe an hour. Yeah, love it.
You're so nice to think of me.
Do you have anything?
I was just looking to see. I did have it, but I lost it. Yeah, I do.
Credit card, number when they were using. How are you? Stories. Sometimes you say, well, I need this story from.
Oh.
Put you in there. Treasure.
Who knows?
Oh,
I'm not looking.
okay.
I don't know where headphones are, but then they have a nice picture of the streets chief.
No.
He retired.
Yeah, with bonus.
Yeah, I researched him and I put that as my own story. So I hope he's seeing it. It's a nice memory.
Sure.
I don't know where they put it.
And that is, I'm sorry, where does that?
Village
one-
View.
In the Village View. So then you
It
can.
should be there.
Yes, yes.
It closed and right.
And then do you read your articles and do you?
Most of the time I don't, because you have to go, well, they're online,
Right.
Village View online.
Right.
But I don't like reading them. And they're everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
restaurant, she's got a business owner. And
Great. Yeah, nice, which is nice. So you get a.
yeah, she gets it. So he gets me a list. I would and she will call him like
Oh, yeah.
because he's starting up.
I didn't get your water thing yet, but I had somebody run the numbers for me today, or yesterday, I should say. So I haven't looked at it.
Business game like
I
that.
hadn't forgotten, is what I was trying to say.
I applied for another water bill at our ready and where that was. How long does it usually take to get, you know? How do you not receive it?
That they're in.
Well, usually it's not that long, unless it's back ordered or color.
Oh my, they're just square gray ones.
I don't know about that.
I didn't think they were doing the round ones anymore.
They're not?
That's what I thought.
Well, you know what, Joe said they were probably, Ask him, I think.
Joe's very
No,
nice.
yeah, wouldn't it be easy to then the village would be?
I'll try to remember to ask her.
We'll see, I don't hear
That's my favorite place.
Do you read it? You read, you go to the library, you read it.
Times, Tribune, I can't think of
I'll tell you what, from the way I look at my document, it's probably taken Uh-oh. You guys are supposed to stop from us, throw them away.
I know that Helen said that your dirt for your socks.
Yep. Oh.
Did you see the garden that they're planting down in Grills? That's what they're talking about.
Oh, no.
And Grills, well, it's technically not the parkway because it doesn't belong to Grills. It's on their Grills side of the sidewalk. There was an interesting strip of dirt and grass and weeds. They're digging it all up and they're putting landscaping.
That'll be pretty. And they got a grand opening coming up, I see. So
Yeah, this one would be really nice once it's all planted.
pretty.
Yeah.
No, today everywhere
Thought I
I
would
went,
give
I
this to her,
went
so I didn't send it to
like
her.
down
So I must go back.
Lasky going north, so I didn't see anything.
At 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the Village of Midlothian Board meeting for June 8th, 2016 to order. Roll call.
Trustee Gillis. Here. Trustee Ivan.
Here.
Trustee Killy. Trustee Price.
Here,
Trustee LaRue.
Here.
Trustee Maskell. Here. Mayor Ryder.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge. After the pledge, remain standing for a moment of silence for our veterans. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, if you would like to address the board, I will open the floor to public comment. This would be your time to address the board.
Hi, Kathy Cagney, just a couple questions. Joe, do you know if the MWRD rain barrels are on back order? I had signed up for another one when
It
we
seems
had
like
our
they're
rain
way
ready
behind
event.
you, Kathy.
Are they?
I don't normally
Okay.
take the calls, but I actually took one today because Kristen was on the other line with somebody. Some lady called me and said she ordered one in April, still hasn't got me.
Oh,
you know what, I'll contact MWRD tomorrow.
okay, I was
And
just
I'll get
curious
the,
about
I'll find out and I'll let you know, Jill, so you and Kristen know, okay?
Thank you.
it. Okay, very good.
And I'll let you know
And-
too, Kathy.
And Treasurer Britton, I was wondering, I was looking on the website today, and I noticed that I don't remember the official name of the report, but it's basically the employee compensation report. It still has the old one from a couple of years ago. Do you have like the last two updated ones that you could post?
I would be more than happy to do that tomorrow,
Okay, very good.
and I appreciate you saying
Okay, and last question is, I missed a couple of meetings, so I don't know if this new business has been discussed a lot, but I was just curious as to what Gulf Star Holdings is. I see that they're gonna come in at 144th and Cicero, so I'm guessing that's the other, is that the other Dodge property that's on the north side of 144th?
The old used car. right?
Okay, and what exactly, and are they gonna be doing a used car lot also?
Correct,
Okay, so we'll have them in drive time right next to each other?
yes.
Oh, okay. And are they gonna be building a new building, or are they gonna use the little trailer building that's there?
I think their plans are to modify the building as is right now to start and then make arrangements to improve down the road.
Okay, very good. And then one last question. I've just been really noticing this spring, kind of paying a little bit more attention to properties that are looking a little on the shabby side. And that empty lot that's next to Mr. Submarine down on 147 looks absolutely hideous.
Did you drive through there today?
Oh, is it cut now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Sorry it took so long.
Didn't
Good
drive
call.
down there yet, did you? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
I know I've missed the last meeting or so. What effect does Crestwood changing their zip code have upon us?
I don't think there'll be any ramifications. I don't know, and I don't even know when they're actually gonna get their own zip code. I know they were approved, but I don't know when it's set in stone to actually go into effect. So I don't know how it's going to affect us.
If they build their own post office, it's gonna positively affect it.
Yeah.
That's
The
highly
DDA
I heard there already was one. It's back there, like where the road starts. I didn't go look. Like when you go in for Kohl's, the way the road starts to curve around
Oh,
there.
in that little strip mall?
Well, yeah,
One of those
that there's
spots.
supposed to be one in there.
I have no idea.
July
Yeah.
That might
17th.
have been a package.
July 17th, it's gonna open.
It's in the Crestwood Advisor, you can pick that up right at the village hall, and they have everything about it. Yeah, and I wrote it, so
Well, I know that there have been a couple articles in our own newspaper about it, and one article referenced the fact that they claimed that their residents are receiving some sort of utility tax that they shouldn't be receiving. What utility tax are they talking about? Any idea?
Well, there's utility taxes on gas and electric bills,
Yeah?
and some of the utility companies used to, and probably some of them still do, based on the zip code.
Oh,
So potentially there could be customers in Crestwood that will be charged a utility tax, let's say on their gas bill or electric bill or phone bill,
mhm.
and those funds would be routed to Midlothian. I think the last 15 years or so, they've been conscious of towns that have shared zip codes, but
So,
There's always
so
someone
the
should
tax,
still
so the
do it.
tax revenue that they should get on it is coming to us on accident because
Yeah.
of the shared zip code?
that's one of their contentions, that that's happened, but I really don't think
Okay.
that that's.
We're in the process of going through, the gas company requested us to review all our properties that belong in Midlothian to make sure that we're getting the right tax. So
Okay,
that's something that they do periodically.
okay. And they also claim that their homeowner's insurance is gonna be significantly changed. Does anybody have any idea if there's any truth to that?
The only thing I know that's different on that is years ago, we lived in Evergreen Park, and when we first moved in there, we had a 606 zip code, which is a city zip code.
Chicago, right?
And it affected, when they changed and got a suburban zip code, our, like, car insurance went down.
Right.
But there already is suburban zip code, so I
Right.
don't know if, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know the truth to that either.
okay.
Any further comments from the public? If not, I will close the floor to public comment, and we'll move on. Trustees, I'd be looking for a motion for the consent agenda. On this evening's consent agenda, we have the bill list, the minutes from the board meeting of April 27, 2016, the minutes from the special meeting on May 4th, 2016, minutes from executive session on May 4th, 2016, and the minutes from the board meeting on May 11th, 2016.
I'd like to move, Mayor, I received the corrected minutes from April 27th and May 11th, but I did not get the corrected minutes from May 4th. I don't know if anybody else got the corrected minutes from May 4th?
That's all I received today.
Okay, so could I ask that I had corrections on all of them, so could the minutes, item number 3 be removed from the consent agenda?
Sure. So I'd be looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda minus number 3.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan. Aye. Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We'll move on to trustee business. Trustee Kreis.
The updates that I have this evening, first on the agenda, environmental update on drive time. This afternoon, I received an email from our environmental consultant, Peter Kimberos, from Rep Rossi at the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. And that email stated that the draft, no further remediation letter is being reviewed by his management. Assuming all is well, it should be issued this week. So board, we are moving forward on that. I am amazed at how quickly this has moved along because we thought it could take weeks or months. So Peter's keeping me advised almost every day, and he and Christine Shelton, our other project manager, are in constant communication with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. As soon as I get word on the NFR, the draft NFR, I will let everybody know. That's the only other update I have on that at this time. Grills Hardware, Reopening is this weekend, and our police and fire department will be there on Saturday morning from 10 until 12. I do have flyers, and if anybody has been in the area and has driven by, you'll notice a little change out in front. And we have the installation of a demonstration rain garden, and it's pretty amazing. It has all been done by volunteers led by Ellen Lekovich, and Theda was out there with me today, and Carl, and there's been a number of us, I don't want to leave out names, but Jean's husband, Mike Bartecki, and Joe Frostone, just a whole, Chris Parker, Valerie Weiskirk, who've been working out there every day to get this installation done. Jackie Hill, Frank Pearson has been out there. We had a student from Bremen. I don't want to leave anybody's name out. Debbie Hotchkiss was out there today. But it's amazing. It's nothing short of amazing what a group of committee volunteers can do. So it's not quite done yet, but it's probably about 90% done. So I want to publicly thank everybody who's been involved. It's been a lot of heavy lifting to get that material moved and get done in such a short time frame, but I think it's going to hopefully encourage other businesses to consider putting in a rain garden or other residents. Pretty amazing. Do you have anything you want to do?
Yeah, it's already encouraged all the businesses to put in either a bioswale or a rain garden. Across the way there, the owner had mentioned to your father, who told us about that they were thinking about putting a bioswale in their parking lot.
And we want to thank your dad too, who provided lunch yesterday. So it's just been a real community outreach of people just working together to get a project done, and I'm really proud of it. The Complete Streets Open House will be at the library on Saturday, June 18th, and again, it's residents' opportunity to come and give us your opinion on what you really want 147th Street to look like. The library is hosting it, and Molly Ocean from Center for Neighborhood Technology will be there. Tony Mano from the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning will be there. And again, this will be led by the Active Transportation Alliance and Leslie Meester. So that is on Saturday, June 18th from 1 until 3 p.m. So please come out. Your input is very, very important. Due to many conflicts, we have canceled the Natalie Creek Steering Committee meeting for tomorrow. We are in the process of rescheduling that meeting. And next Wednesday at 10:30, I will be representing the village at the Enterprise Zone meeting at South Suburban Mayors and Managers. And I believe, and I want to remind everybody, the other big event we have coming up is the Veterans Committee Independence Day Parade on Saturday, June 25th, which steps off from Grills at 11 a.m. and the applications are starting to come in. It should be a really nice parade and getting a lot of entries. So mark your calendars, and all of these things should be on the village's website as well.
Karen, was the ribbon cutting time changed?
To 1 o'clock.
Our village, police, or fire and public works, they're just going to be there, so they won't be there for the
Ribbon cutting on Friday.
The ribbon cutting is on Friday, and that was to accommodate Mr. Gerhart. Okay? That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Ivan.
I want to just add one more thing to the Grills Hardware event. We're going to have a community table inside the building where we'll have different flyers for the different committees on the table for the public to see as well. So hopefully we get some more volunteers out of the event as well. My first agenda item has to do with the IDOT resolution. It's regarding the maintenance of driveways and street returns, water mains, sanitary and storm sewers on the state highways within the village of Midlothian. So I want to make a motion for that resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Price?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The public work updates, let Joe do most of the talking about that. There was only one thing that came to my attention again this week was that we had graffiti in the men's bathroom at the train station. Looked like gang graffiti was on the door and the windowsill. So that was reported to, I guess, the police department. I guess is our standard operation when we report gang graffiti. And the county no longer has a unit that takes care of it. So I don't know if, is it a Metro issue or a...
It's our train station, so we'll have to take care of it.
We'll have to take care of it?
You know, Carl, at my last director's meeting, there was a outfit that deals with graffiti removal. They're trying to sell the product, and one of the things they had that caught my attention, and I just haven't gotten back to them yet, was they have like handy wipes that are for emergency use, and you give them to your cleaning people. So this way, if it's a fresh, which is clean 6 days a week, so I can get those. You know, I'll get more information on it, and I'll try to get those. Then the cleaning service will have them on hand if they find something. They can take it off right away. Getting it off later is a little bit more job, especially in the work.
All right, thank you. So that concludes my items.
Thank you. Trustee Gillis.
Yes, Mayor. A few things tonight. First one is currently the building department is requesting that we consider changing our electrical code. Currently, we follow 2002 electrical code, and have used this code with some amendments. These amendments are sections that refer to following the 2008 NSC code. With these recommendations from Superintendent DeSimone, I would like to recommend that the village move forward in confirm to use the 2008 NEC electrical code, and this would help make changes to our current code that would bring us up to what most departments currently use. So I am making a motion to change our electrical code to follow the 2008 NEC code.
I'll second.
I don't have the ordinance for it.
So you want me to just draft the ordinance then, and then we'll approve it next meeting?
Okay.
So we're gonna have to change our ordinances to do that.
Okay. There's more of that. Thank you.
You can still hold in the direction.
You want us to still vote on it? Okay.
Sure.
So,
Can I ask a question? Are there any costs incurred with this? Do we have to buy any updated manuals or?
Yes.
Okay, and do we know what those costs are?
The cost right now for an additional book, because we've already got one in-house, and I have one personally, would be about $85.
Okay.
okay, so I have a motion to change our electric code to 2008 NEC. You have a second?
second.
I'm sorry,
Alan, second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Secondly, like Superintendent DeSimone stated, Top Gun Landscaping has started on some of the properties that are not following our property maintenance code. This will be the procedure we'll use during this summer season. The building department will give the information to Top Gun. They'll follow the procedures that are set up so that our ordinances are followed also. And hopefully we'll be getting a lot of these properties cleaned up in the next few weeks and get them under control. I believe that we have a procedure that will not give us the headaches and problems that we had last year, and especially with the building and people coming back with issues on whether we cut it, they cut it, the neighbor cut it, or nobody cut it. So, and with this, I do believe we are documenting areas with pictures also, if need be. So this is under control. I want to thank the board for the time you took to figure out who we were going to use, and hopefully TAPCON will work out fine. An update on drive time, just to piggyback with Karen. The building department actually met with representatives yesterday and went over some permit issues, concerns that they were reviewing. The building department has reviewed plans within house, so they're getting up to date on what's going on. Even though we do not have a closing date as of yet, we are staying on top of this so that, you know, things can move forward as things progress. In Lothian Storage, if anybody has driven by there, if you have not driven by there, we have about 4 stories now complete. They're working on welding inside, and they did start working on the exterior of the building, putting up the outside walls. They do have some doors in the front, so it is moving along. You know, I know that people have mentioned that it seems that they've been working quite a long time, but you know, a structure like that does take the time, and it's very interesting how they're doing it. If you get a chance to drive by there and take a look, it's quite a piece of property, so that is moving along. We had discussion last week pertaining to the special use for property on 147 Kedzie. Superintendent DeSimone and myself actually went out there, and he actually generated a report that I've shared with the board. Hopefully everybody got it. There are quite a few issues that do need to be addressed. I don't know if we have shared this with the potential tenant yet, but I believe these are probably concerns that the owner should address prior to the tenant moving in there. I know in the past we've had issues where we've been told that recommendations were given to possible tenants prior to a special use being issued. I don't know what the board's content is, but I guess my question is it possible to approve a special use with the stipulations that the work that was generated from the report be completed prior to giving a business license, with the other additional inspection, or final inspection by the building department and fire department if need be so. I guess my concern is, are we putting ourselves in harm's way by saying, well, we can't give you a special use until this work is done? Because now we're telling them, similar to past incidents where tenants came to us and said, well, I was told to invest $20,000 in a piece of property. You know, I don't know what the legal ramifications is by saying, yes, we know there's work that needs to be done, but do we give them the special use with the stipulations that the work is to be done, or do we tell them the work needs to be done before we do that?
I think you would do it, you would grant the special use contingent on those, whatever items you believe need to be done, being done, similar to what happened with cars 147, where it was, we'll give you the variance, but you're required to remove the tank. And so that was a condition of the variance being granted, but you're going to give it subject to that. If they complete them, then they'll be getting the special use. That's the problem.
So then that would just have to be included in the special use ordinance.
Correct.
So, okay.
And especially if they're building code things or ordinance things that they need to get up. I mean, that's pretty standard things that we would put in any special uses, that you need to comply with the code. And if you don't, you're going to get the special use code, or you're going to get ticketed.
Because there probably is other violations we're not aware of because we didn't have access to the interior. This was just an exterior inspection. But it looks like they have started work, but just haven't finished it on the inside and the outside. Superintendent DeSimone did make a list, so I guess I would like to make a recommendation to approve the special use with the stipulations that all building code violations and inspections be completed prior to a building permit being issued.
I mean, building license.
Building license.
Business license?
Business license.
Business license being issued.
Yes.
Okay, so we can go ahead then and just add that to the ordinance, and then we could prove it. Does that make sense? Right?
But that's what the special use said, that the building has to be.
I'm pretty sure, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that was a condition.
Exactly what it said.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I thought it was already in there
So,
after, because you rewrote
What
it.
extra do you saying specifically we want to add stuff?
do you want to add those things that say?
Well, I don't think it makes a difference if we add or not. There could building code violations and that's in there. The biggest thing is that I would like to make sure that all the inspections are done prior to the license being issued. I believe that's in there too.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, do we want any other additional landscaping issues addressed? There isn't a lot of property there that has landscaping as far as, you know, bushes, trees, or anything. It's basically a sign, the outside poles. I think if he does, or the company does the minimum, we're gonna have pretty much how it was 4 or 5 years ago when they were open. I don't see any cosmetic changes being made other than a new name on the sign. One of the things that I want to make sure the board is aware of is that those gates that he's used in the past on their property, it was welded, it says extreme. The outside exterior of the property has poles in the ground, but there is no top to the pole itself. So that wouldn't change, I don't believe, unless they decide to make some upgrades and do something with that. So with all the building codes being up to date, we're still going to have probably that same gate, the same poles in the ground without a tapping, unless we do address that also. And I don't know that that is something that the board wishes to do, but I want to make sure that they're aware of it.
Okay. I'm going to, you know, and I think you guys did a great job. It gave me a lot of confidence that property was going to look good when it was ready. No problem. It was great inspection. I guess I'm going to be the lone wolf and just, can we ask the property owner that if he anticipates any cosmetic upgrades? I think that was great word. Cosmetic upgrades to the property. I think we should just push and see if we can get some cosmetic upgrades to the property. See if he'll do something.
Like,
well, I think when he's painting something, how's he going to paint? He's just going to take the white paint. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, if you're saying how it was, I don't think it looked very good back then. I mean, it looked okay, but nothing that I would anticipate that is just unbelievable. Can you make it look a little nicer in line with some of our other used car dealers who have come in and made cosmetic changes that upgraded their property? That would be my concern. I think the better it looks, the better off we are.
I think probably what we could do is when we sit down, or when the gentleman comes in, because I know he has come in to get an update on the process of how things have been going. Maybe we can go to the next step and sit down with them and discuss those possibilities, and tell them what our intentions would be to hopefully make that the best looking property that it could be based on selling used cars. So we could make that happen. That's not a problem. So going back to it, I would like to make a motion to approve the special use with the stipulations so stated in the redevelopment agreement and
there is no redevelopment agreement.
Okay.
It's just the ordinance. It's all in the ordinance.
I'll second it.
And the first and the second, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Price?
Aye.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
As the board knows, probably over a year ago, we had some issues with the Midlothian Country Club as far as debris being piled up behind a couple of houses. And it was the intention of the building department at the time to ticket them. They have been in court with it. They have received fines, and basically since that time they have worked to remove that pile. It has been minimized to mulch. It also has been minimized to mulch that will be recycled on the facility itself, on the grounds. I know that Superintendent DeSimone has advised me that the problems they have had are no longer there, so basically this issue has been closed, and I believe he has met with the resident that had concerns. Is that correct? So we do not have any other issues, so that problem has been taken care of.
Actually, Trustee Gillis, I have one more walkthrough with him next Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just to make sure that he's been appeased, because the complaints were coming from just one resident back there. He's even called the EPA, but the EPA found it to be unfounded. It's all organic material, and they're just recycling some of the tree removal and creating mulch back there. So, but they have cleaned it up, so it's at least somewhat aesthetically pleasing back there now.
Yeah, it's come a long way from what it was.
So I heard, yes.
And I did miss the updates on Ricky Rackets. I believe they're still waiting on MWRD and IDEP permits. Once they are received and approved, I believe they will submit the civil plans to the village for final approval. And thank you, Jeff, for the update that you passed on. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee LaRue.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see, you guys were afforded the ordinances for disposal of personal property owned by the village of Midlothian. We discussed it last week. The first one is the Squad 2707. It is the 1997 Pierce Saber Heavy Rescue Vehicle. As Chief Hoffanger explained last week, the fire department has determined it's no longer useful or beneficial to the Midlothian Fire Department, so he would like it to be put out for sale. So I am making a motion that we approve the ordinance authorized to dispose of personal property owned by the village of Midlothian, in particular the 1997 Pierce Saber Heavy Rescue Vehicle.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
On the same note, we discussed last week also the safety trailer. It's a 1999 Surrey Tire safety trailer. And once again, it's become no use to the fire department, the village, and becoming more of an eyesore and drain. So Chief Hoffanger would also like to put that up for sale. So I'm making a motion that we approve the ordinance authorize disposal of personal property owned by the village of Midlothian, in specific the 1999 Surrey Tire safety trailer.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I have on the agenda the approval of the contract with Image Trend, which was the EMF software that we approved the purchase of a couple weeks ago. But there was quite a lengthy contract with that trade leasing you saw. And you did some minor changes, and they got sent back to, is getting sent back to Image Trend, I would imagine. So we didn't get it back yet. So we'll just table it for a second.
Okay, just don't.
We'll bring it up again next week when we come to it. And we also discussed last week the need of our fire department to hire another part-time firefighter due to the one not being there anymore. Care about it. So I'm making a motion that we approve the hiring of the part-time firefighter Amanda McDonough.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And just a note, Chief Hoffanger is not here tonight. He's up in Wisconsin doing the final inspection on a new fire engine. If everything went well, it should be in Aurora shortly and then delivered to Midlothian shortly after that. So we're hoping within a week or two it should be here in-house. And that's all I have.
Okay, great. Trustee Killily.
The administration department recommends the hiring of part-time officer from Gales Zuko for a position that pays $10 an hour for 20 hours per week. She 20 hours per week, and she will work every Saturday. part of that schedule. There were, I believe, 6 candidates, and through interviews, the office manager, Ms. Potempa, chose the SUCO. So I sent some backup material to everyone, although it was pretty late, I'm sorry. That's when I got it. Does anyone have any comments on that?
I do, Trustee Killily. I may actually make a motion to table. We did not get all of the information that we requested. And I think the most important we didn't receive, which was the results of the competency testing. So I'd like to make a motion to table.
The what testing?
Competency testing. We've had discussion that we need to administer competency tests for these positions to make sure we have the right candidate. And unfortunately, I did send you an email about it on Monday requesting the information.
Well, there was
one administered?
There was not one administered.
I think one needs to be administered.
Do we have one to administer?
The front office was going to create one. They didn't have time to create it, so they went ahead anyway, I believe. Trace, you may have something to help us with in that? Is that right?
I do have, I believe in my archives, I do have something from my prior life.
Maybe.
But it's not, I think some of it will need tweaking. It may not provide us with everything we need.
Yeah, I mean, Nicole and Maureen were going to do a test. They had every intentions of doing the test, but they didn't have time to do it according to the communications I received. So, and I believe the interview was sounds like it was by phone. So,
She was actually in person.
Oh, she was in person? They did some by phone.
Some we had to do by phone, just due to scheduling. They couldn't make it in when we could be here. It was nearly impossible with one woman. We couldn't. She didn't get off her regular job till after 7 o'clock at night. And, yeah. So we did the best we could, but the young woman that we're recommending she was a face-to-face interview, but we can.
According to her resume, she seems to have the skills that we need, but you know, I did have this conversation with Maureen, that we did need an office proficiency test, and she had every intention of doing the proficiency test, but it just didn't get done. I mean, we talked about it that Maureen wanted a proficiency test. She was high on our list, but it just didn't get done. So I don't know what the board wants to do at this point. Does the board want to try to create a competency test before they'll approve the hiring of
I have a quick question. Would our HR consultant have competency test that she could give the village that could be used? Wouldn't that be something our HR consultant would have? I mean, that would fall right in her bailiwick, wouldn't it?
Who doesn't start till after June 22nd?
She might be also recommend an online service.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Okay, we can take a crack at that too. But basically the board, so what we're saying is the board wants some sort of proficiency test before they hire this person?
I'm not opposed to it. I think it's probably a good idea, but I don't know the answers from that proficiency test. I don't know if they're good or bad. I don't know if 45 words per minute is good or bad for a 10-hour job. I don't know. 90.
It's not
As soon as you evaluate the results
I
of the
think
test.
the conversations I had with Trustee Killily, a lot of this is grammatic, spelling, and you had talked about some
By being able to operate
the equipment that we
the
have.
front office, the front with the register. Can she do that? How easy is it to do? Does she make mistakes? Does she know? She says she knows Excel. Does she really know Excel? I mean, things like that. That's what was going to be tested.
Short
And who's going to evaluate the proficiency test?
Maureen?
Have to be the office.
Maureen and Nicole, maybe. I don't think it was. And then she would give us the results of the test.
My point is that the results.
No, she would say, okay, here's this person, she did, okay, you know, as far as she's concerned, she did what was expected as far as
I guess what I'm asking is, there are trustees that want to see the results of the proficiency test to determine if they want to hire the person.
Well, I think that was the crux of this. We want to make sure, because we've had some instances before where I think the board would have made a different decision had a test been administered, and we would have been privy to those results.
Well, I think also though, we have an office manager that is making sure the test is being completed, and she's reviewing the results, then the recommendation should come from her, whether she feels that she passed it or not.
See, a lot of employers.
That's my point.
A lot of employers choose the option of a 90-day trial period where you come on board, you are in our office, you're working with us, you're using our equipment, I'm teaching you. How well are you moving along? If you're not moving along within 90 days, you know what? You probably don't belong here anymore. That's when you terminate at no risk to the employer to have to pay unemployment. So a lot of employers use that tactic instead of like trying to dream up a test that none of us can, like Trustee LaRue said, might not be able to evaluate and understand if that really is going to be a fit for what we need here.
I'm just saying, I personally,
Right.
I mean, sure, Trustee Price could, and some of these people have worked in the professional business office world, and they could probably do that, but I don't know if that's,
Basically, you expect the office manager to say pass, fail. If you want to test, you expect them to say pass, but you probably want them to say why.
but is that good enough? If the office manager gives the test and deems it
As long as
passed.
we know what the test is, and possibly, I don't know, Treasurer Burton, do you have any experience with any of this?
I've had a lot of experience taking tests. I've been at a lot of places where they do expect you to have some sort of proficiency, and they do offer you tests. And there are temporary agencies like Accountex, Manpower, all those kinds of places also offer tests. We can tell them which sort of test we'd like. Absolutely, of course, it's for a fee, but again, we wouldn't have to rely on somebody having enough time to go ahead and create a test, and those are some options.
I'm wondering if we could have our HR consultant be involved in this and get it done quickly.
So right now, I have a motion to table the hire of the new clerk.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Motion to the table carried.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Maskell.
Yes, Mayor, I just have one item. This evening, the board received a copy, I believe, before last week's committee meeting of the contract with Chicago Communications for emergency 911 dispatch equipment. I shared that with Attorney Gleason, who suggested some changes. And this afternoon, we got that document back, and I believe they made changes to the satisfaction of the attorney. So I would like to make a motion that the board approve the contract with Chicago Communications LLC. This is the radio equipment vendor for radio telephony and video control equipment for our transition to Calcom for 911 dispatch.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
So, I guess I did read the whole thing properly. So, according to this Assistant Chief Delaney, I thought we were going to approve this until the state approved it. Did the state approve it?
We are not ordering microwave equipment, which is the second part of this, until the state.
Okay,
authorizes
microwave,
it.
not radio. Okay, yeah.
There's a second part of this. There's actually two components. This is just the first one. He did not want to do that, and the rare chance that it wasn't approved.
Okay.
It will cost us a little bit of time potentially, but.
So this radio equipment, we're ordering just for this purpose too?
Correct.
And if this doesn't go through, we'll still need this equipment? Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to department head reports. Chief Kaufman, anything?
Yes, Mayor's a couple things, just advised 2 new squads are in. They're not started on equipping them yet. Those are the ones that will pass with 2015 budget. So they are here, so we should be getting the bill for that soon. Another thing, just to give a heads up, January 1st, a bill was passed that all police departments in the state of Illinois will have to start carrying Narcan, which is, most of you are probably familiar with, is to treat heroin overdose. The bill was put on hold, it was passed, but it was somewhat put on hold because they didn't think prior to the training, the costs and things of that nature. In the meantime, since this, I just recently found a grant for it, applied for it, and somehow got approved the very next day. Yeah, it was like a record.
Chief, could you find me a couple of those?
Yeah, all right. I emailed it and it was sent back because it was all, it needed to be done in a matter of 8 days, or I think it was 8 or 9 days, nevertheless. So we are getting that. It all moved fast, so I didn't get a chance to give everyone a heads up. I'm just letting you know now. We pretty much didn't have a chance, but it's going to be free. And right now, the intentions of the grant are to give us 12 canisters of it. And when the lifetime, I think right now is a year, and we'll continue to get for free at this time. So I'll keep you posted when everything's finalized with that.
Does that include any training that will be required?
Yes, we actually, the training was free, so I sent all my sergeants to the training last week, which is train the trainer. So they will be able to train each officer on their shift and show them how to administer it. So everything's free of cost. If somebody doesn't get passed and we don't need it, it's still no cost to us. So it's just a bonus that we've seen it, and I just thought we better jump on it while we can. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Superintendent Sperry.
Yeah, I got a few updates on projects. First one is the Village Road Program. The first part of that, which is the 2 STP grants, which is 144th and 149th Street. The work on those will be starting on Monday the 13th, tentatively. We're going to tomorrow hand out these flyers to everybody that lives along those 2 roads. I just got this information on Monday, so I didn't really have enough time to mail it out. So we're going to try to hand this out. I got a stack of these here. If anybody wants to take them and put them online, put them online or whatever you want to do. Notifications. They're going to be going from Pulaski to Cicero Avenue, and it's going to be the majority of 144th and 149th Street. That was a separate grant that we had, and it was bid out by the state. So I just got notice of it Monday that they were starting on next Monday. The remaining, and we're going to put this also on our website, and then the remaining part of our road program this year, which is also part of the CDBG grant, that hasn't even gone out to bid yet. So once I get information on that, we'll update this and try to mail it out to everybody that lives on the blocks that are going to be affected. So that's one thing. Another thing I had was, we had a contractor in town, Wide Open West, that was doing some directional boring for, they were actually working for Verizon, I found out, and they were boring 2-inch conduits for fiber optics in the process. And some of this started last winter. They had hit our water main, they had hit the water service at one of the homes and a sanitary sewer. We made the repairs. I have invoices that I already tried to invoice part of the job to one contractor, because they contracted out to another contractor, contracted out to another contractor. So I had to track everybody down that was involved. We're going to be getting reimbursed for all the work that we did. There was some concrete restoration and asphalt. So that's all going to be taken care of. We just recently found out that one of the homes over there, this is between Keeler and Pulaski on 149th Street on the north side of 149th. One of the homes that was over there.
Between Keeler and Pulaski? That's a long stretch.
Keeler and Pulaski. Keeler to Pulaski on 149th Street.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Misunderstood.
Keystone Karloff.
Okay,
Got
okay.
to go through there. So anyway, yeah, it wasn't that many, it was about 9 homes that were affected by this, but they hit 2 of our things and then 1 of another homeowner services. So one of the homeowners over there didn't even know that they hit it. They had a $1,000 water bill. They were trying to sell their house. And before they could sell the house, this all came to me last week. They had to pay the $1,000 water bill because they hit it just past the water meter in the parkway. They had to hire a plumber to come out and replace the line so they could close on the house. So this guy had to incur a $1,000 water bill and I think a $5,000 plumber's bill. Plumber come out and started digging from the house out. When he got out to the parkway to tie into our water meter, that's when he noticed that their cables were running right through the sewer. They had hit the water line and the sewer. The water was running directly in the sewer, so that's why no one noticed it. So I tracked down, I went directly to Wide Open West, and then they sent out the first contractor, or called the second contractor out. It's all been taken care of. The homeowner's been reimbursed. The guy that was selling the house that had to front up all the money, he's been reimbursed. So it's all taken care of. I recommended to Wide Open West that they come out and televise the other remaining 7 to 9 services that are on there, just to make sure they didn't go through their sewers also. So I sent out some letters. I handed out letters today, and we're going to try to get it all done in one day so that these homeowners don't have to incur these problems 2 years down the road. Sometimes it takes a while for these sewers to start backing up. So that's going on over there. And the third thing is the cleaning and televising of the 21-inch sanitary sewer over in the north or southeast quadrant. Will start next week. There's the company the contractor that's going to be out there is National Power Rod. They're going to be putting out door hangers, and we have something we're going to throw on the website for that also. And that's starting next week. And then once that's all televised and camera and clean, then they will come out and line that sewer that's between 147th Place and 147th Street on Central Park. That'll be done at a later date as part of the project, and people will be notified of that too. That's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent DeSimone?
Just one brief thing to expand on what Director Sperry had just discussed. I think the Village of Midlothian had been just slightly lax about large utility companies coming into our village and doing repairs. A perfect example of what had happened. I know that in the past fees have been waived, which is okay by me, but there has to be some insurance put into place for when these issues come back up. Happy to say that we did have a $5,000 bond on this particular one. It was still sitting in the village's possession, which is important. So I'm trying to implement programs when, even if it's AT&T or NICOR, they're coming in to do work in our village. I have no issues with waiving fees, but I think it's very important that they deposit monies to protect us for situations like this in the future. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Engineer Koza?
Trustee Gillis touched on it, but I completed my review of Richard Rackets. This is their third submittal. As far as the village is concerned, the site plan is in pretty good shape. They're just waiting for their IDOT and their heat permits. So I don't have an updated timetable for that. But I'll reach out to their engineer again this week and see what he has to say on that. And Superintendent Sperry hit pretty much everything else, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Treasurer Britton? On behalf of myself and the board, I'd like to thank you for getting together the preliminary budget together. And I know that Trustee Hillary is trying to set up a finance committee so it can be reviewed, but I think we're in a much better shape this year. And I really appreciate all your hard work and effort. Okay, moving on to my business. Trustees, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the RDA with Gulf Star Holdings LLC. This is for the property at 144th and Cicero.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Any discussion?
I actually, you have discussion? Go ahead. Maybe you have the same question I do.
Actually, it's kind of a legal thing here. Explain to me, Attorney Gleason, the village was furnished to develop a commitment for a 2006 Alta extended coverage owner's policy issued by Overpoint National Title in the amount of the purchase price.
we're gonna give them title insurance, which is pretty standard in a real estate transaction. That's a description of the type of title insurance that we're gonna provide them, so that they have someone to go after if it comes up later that we don't really own the property that we're trying to sell to them. So it's an insurance policy.
You could have just put that in.
No, I mean, if it's not in 3 sentences, the lawyers didn't write it.
Are you done?
I was curious, you mentioned earlier about they're going to keep the trailer or take it down, or?
The preliminary thought was they were gonna leave the trailer as is and like redo the outside, make it look better, like.
I don't know if that's possible. I've been in that trailer a number of times. Have you been in there, Superintendent DeSimone?
I have not, no.
Oh, it could be a real eye opener for you.
And the police department been in there?
All trailers are unless they're maintained properly.
Have you guys been in there, that the trailer and the used car?
Not that I'm aware of. It's not code.
Yeah, I don't think it's code.
Well, I think having our building department look into it, once they purchase it, they can tell them right then and there.
Well, and they have a 45-day inspection period under it, so I assume that they'll get in there and look at it.
Because I don't think they've been in it either.
On 99 through 87. But I tried to keep that one. I tried to get it for 30 days and they asked for 45, but I know that we were trying to close as quickly as we could.
Well, my 2 comments are, one of them refers to this timetable. Is there any way you can put some wording in here that says this must be executed in X amount of days? Because we have that problem with drive time. They didn't execute the RDA for months.
Well, I think if it's approved, if that's the pleasure of the board, we can tell them that this offer will remain, I can write in the letter saying the offer will remain open for a certain period of days, and if it's not executed by then we'll take a formal action at a board meeting to revoke it.
And I personally talked to him, he's got the earnest money already and wants to know when we want the check. So I don't think it's gonna take him long to execute the RDA.
Well, I hope not, but based on what happened with drive time.
I can have the attorney drop the letter to go with it.
The other thing, Attorney Gleason, is I read this over and over. So it looks like the only incentive that this development is looking for is what they will get from the TIF.
Correct.
No Class A, no.
They wanted a Class 8. It was our understanding from our conversations with the board that you guys didn't really have an interest in that. So we told them that was kind of a no-go, and so we created some TIF financing.
Yeah, and with limits, right, but there's limits.
There's a cap, and
Right.
they have to earn a certain amount on the property even before they're eligible for it. And I know we went through this long conversation before, that's not a general obligation to the village. If the TIF doesn't earn any money, they don't get any money.
Right, okay.
And it's only a TIF limited to that particular parcel. It's not the entirety of the TIF, it's just TIF earnings in that particular parcel.
Okay, that clarified it, because this was not easy reading.
No, they're even for lawyers, they're
This was not easy, and I read that part twice, so, okay, that really answers my questions.
But I did tell them we would get them the information about the enterprise zone as well.
Oh, you were gonna give me their email, and you
Yes.
never did.
Okay.
No, and I'll be happy to send them the link.
Yeah, because
And Mary Schmidt's contact information.
I'll get you that information from. Okay, I have a first and a second. Roll call.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Coley?
Present.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next thing I have on my list is I had a meeting with Mr. Razik, the owner of the building across the street, the Dollar Tree and everything. And he came in with his attorney and he was asking, he said that while prior to me becoming mayor, while he was working on trying to get the Dollar Tree here, he was promised a Class 8 for the Dollar Tree. He said he was actually promised a Class 8 for the entire building, but he currently is looking for, I'm trying to give some kind of feel of how the board feels about giving a Class 8 for the Dollar Tree section of the building across the street. I did tell him that the board is not happy because the building is still not in compliance. He said that he understands the importance of the sprinkler system and that he could probably get it installed in a month and a half. and would be working toward that if we were going to be willing to grant him a Class 8 on the Dollar Tree end. And then he also wanted us to be aware that he would probably reapply for a second Class 8 for the other parcel. They're 2 separate PIN numbers across the street, for whenever they bring in whatever business they're possibly going to bring to that end. He thinks he has somebody, and he thinks he can probably entice a company to come here saying that there'll be a Class 8 on the property for tax relief. So I told him that I would bring it to the board this evening for discussion and let him know how you guys feel.
The thing I just wanted to clarify from the meeting with the board is, he said it would take a month and a half, but he doesn't want to do it until he's got a tenant, because he's saying he'll have to do it twice. So I think it was important, and we also discussed, I believe there's some outstanding tickets that need to be satisfied.
$35,000 worth of fines.
So we did bring that up.
But he was told he needed a fire suppression system there a very long time ago, and he's refused to do it.
You are correct, trustee Leo.
Like I said, I told him I met with him and I told him I would bring it to the trustees for your opinion and get back to him.
How long have the $35,000 of tickets been outstanding?
As far as Chief Hawk, I believe.
We can still be writing them.
Daily, he's getting writing. It's a growing number.
Because it's not in compliance. We just got tired of spending $6 to send a piece of mail that he was refusing to even sign for.
I would recommend that Mr. Razak pay the fines and put a sprinkler system in and then come back and ask.
Which is basically what he was asked a year ago.
At least a year ago.
Yeah. More like 3 years ago. Okay, I will relay that back to him then. And then I wanted to thank Trustee Kreis for her work with Drive Time. I actually had a meeting with Sean Fitzgerald. He was in town yesterday, and he asked to stop by and see me. He said that your help has been phenomenal, and Peter's work has been just great. And his company right now is leery that they're not going to have the NFR in the timely fashion, because I believe the 30-day extension is up next Wednesday, the 15th.
15 or 16?
Yeah, and so he was wondering if the board would be willing to sign another 30 just in case he doesn't get the NFR prior to, because he's believing that as soon as he can get that NFR to Wells Fargo, he can do the financing and also then start with getting the asbestos remediation done, which is in their estimate going to cost about $96,000, and then pull the demolition permit, and then also pick up our permits from the village here. So I told him I would ask if you guys would be interested. He would have his attorney write it, and we could approve it next Wednesday if you'd be willing to give him another 30-day extension. He's very confident that this is all going to go through without a hitch. They just don't want it to expire due to the 30-day extension expiring.
Did he actually say what the holdup is? I mean,
they're waiting for the NFR.
And if all goes as planned, and again, they're moving at light speed in Springfield, which is unheard of, but I think it's because of Peter and the conference call we had, letting them know how critical this project was to Midlothian and the state of Illinois. We could have the draft NFR by the end of the week, and I will send it out if we have it. Hopefully, if they have that draft NFR, their bank will accept it while they wait for the final NFR.
What's an NFR?
No further remediation.
Oh, okay.
No further remediation letter, which is the gold standard from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency.
How long do you think it would take from the draft to the final?
I don't know, I'll find out tomorrow.
Because if the board was willing to entertain 30 days, perhaps an alternative is to say it's 30 days, but if we get the NFR, you're obligated, you're in. And then they have to close or give up their earnest money.
I will ask the question tomorrow to find out typically how long it takes to go draft to final. And again, would you agree they're moving at light speed in Springfield? Because they told us this could take originally months. Pardon me?
For a bureaucratic agency.
No, seriously, when we first had that first conference call, I had no idea it would move this quickly, although I begged them on the phone to move this project forward.
Should we also inform the second company that?
They emailed me today, and I was waiting, he wanted to know the status with drive time. So I was gonna kind of wait until the meeting tonight, let the board know about the draft NFR. I know they're looking at some other property in another town, but I don't think it's as attractive as this site, but all indications appear, as long as this NFR is finalized, because Drive Time has already submitted their application with the enterprise zone. I mean, they're doing everything to
Yeah,
move
we
the
have,
project
I
forward.
believe their building site plans are 90% reviewed, Superintendent DeSimone.
That is correct.
So I mean,
They're doing all the things they need to do.
they're very, very set on making this
We're
happen.
about done with the easement agreement, they have modified it, and we're working on the conditions on the title insurance policy, so they're in communication with their private counsel. They seem like they're moving forward.
At least that's how it appears to me. I know anything can happen until we close, but I'm not opposed to another extension, but
I want to know what I can tell Sean, that it sounds like the board would be willing to grant an extra 30 days.
Yes.
That's all I need to know. And it's, you're going to handle Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I have. Clerk Olsted?
Just a reminder, State Representative Will Davis is holding a Community Shred Day in electronic recycling at Rady Lodge this Saturday, June 11th, from 9 a.m. till noon. They will take small computer stuff, computers and computer monitors, no televisions. You can do shredding of any documents that you have on site, they will shred and be done with. So it's Saturday, June 11th, from 9 a.m. until noon. That's all I have.
Is there a limit to how much stuff you can bring in?
Pardon?
Is there a limit for the electronics recycling?
Just no TVs.
No TVs.
They
They'll take computers, they'll take
She's
the
cleaning up the
CRTs.
house.
Yeah.
Anything with a plug they'll take,
Yes.
as long as it's not a television.
No TVs.
I have a question.
Do they take batteries?
Hazardous.
Some recycling.
And fluorescent lights.
Computers, cell phones, and audio equipment also accepted for recycling. It doesn't say anything about batteries. But they do have a phone number that you could call.
This is on our website as well.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
That's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Gilliland, you still?
I'm going to ask Mr. Boyce now. Do we need a,
Probably would be helpful to.
I think it would be
let the
helpful.
board know where it's at, and there's some items we need to talk about.
yes.
At 8:07, I'd be looking for a motion to go to executive session to discuss pending legal, litigation. I can't say the word tonight. There will be no further action after the closed session. So I'd be looking for a motion to go to executive session.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Gilliland.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carried.